This video is intended solely for educational and documentary purposes. It contains no ideology or propaganda. When we talk about World War II, certain images instantly come to mind: armies, infantry, aviation. But there is one symbol of war that left a profound mark on history: the tank. Machines of steel, fire, and fear. Today, we will tell you about the 10 most powerful tanks of World War II. The ones that struck terror, the ones that changed battles, the ones that became legends or disasters for their creators. And we begin with a machine that, for many, became the symbol of American engineering. 10th place, M26 Pershing, USA. The American heavy tank that arrived late in the war. America's answer to the German Tigers and Panthers. Pershing appeared too late to change the outcome, but just in time to demonstrate the power of American engineering. Armor up to 102 millimeters. Gun, the powerful 90 millimeter M3. It could penetrate the front armor of a Tiger 1 from over a kilometer away. It entered the front lines in February 1945. In Cologne, a famous film captured a Pershing destroying a German Panther with a direct frontal hit. Slower than the Sherman, but far more powerful and better protected. For many U.S. tankers, it was the first time they felt, finally, a tank that can fight the Germans on equal terms. 9th place, Type 97 Chiha-Kai, Japan. Against European giants, this tank seems light and outdated, but in its theater of war, the jungles and islands of the Pacific, it was crucial. A modernized version of the Chiha, featuring a 47 millimeter gun and reinforced armor. In dense jungles, close combat, and limited maneuver space, it was surprisingly effective. Its role was infantry support, attacking fortifications, and dealing with light armor. Against the Sherman, it was weak, but in battles like Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa, these tanks fought to the last. A tank of desperate warfare, where the will to die mattered more than the machine. 8th place, Valentine, Mark 11, UK. A British infantry tank, not impressive for size or firepower, but its main strength was reliability. From 1940 to 1944, over 8,000 Valentines were built. It was the backbone of British armored forces in the early war years. Armor up to 65 millimeters. Initially armed with a 40 millimeter, later upgraded to a 57 millimeter gun. In Africa, it became a symbol of endurance, fighting Rommel and his desert foxes. Valentine often went to the most dangerous sectors, not because it was the best, but because it almost always made it. Simple, technologically sound, and extremely durable. 7th place, Panzerkampfwagen 4 AUSF, H, Germany. The workhorse of the Wehrmacht. It started the war as a medium tank, but by 1943 it had reinforced armor up to 80 millimeters and the long-barreled 75 millimeter KWK-40 cannon, no longer light, no longer cheap, but still the most mass-produced German tank. The Panzer IV fought everywhere: Poland, Normandy, Africa, and the Kursk salient. It was a universal soldier. It could fight Shermans, battle T-34s, and sometimes even escape an IS-2. Commanders loved its simple controls. Crews valued its balance of firepower and protection. 6th place, Sherman Firefly, UK. A regular Sherman with a British twist. Engineers made a brilliant modification, swapping the standard gun for the legendary 17-pounder, 76.2 millimeters, anti-tank cannon. The Firefly became a true Tiger and Panther hunter. It could penetrate the front armor of any German tank from 1,500 meters. In Normandy, it became a nightmare for the Luftwaffe and Panzer divisions. Its main flaw, a tall turret with a huge muzzle brake. Germans quickly learned to identify the Firefly and prioritized it as a target. Still, it became a symbol of British ingenuity. It allowed the Allies to close the technological gap with German armor. 5th place, Churchill, Mark 7, UK. This tank wasn't fast, wasn't light, but its armor became legendary. Churchill was a rolling fortress, frontal armor up to 152 millimeters, thicker than many German heavy tanks. Its role was infantry support and breaking fortified positions, slow but relentless. Max speed, just 24 kilometers per hour. But it could cross terrain where others got stuck. It became famous in Normandy, smashing through hedgerows, ruins, and minefields. A British officer once wrote, "When artillery falls silent and infantry is pinned, that's when Churchill rolls forward." Fourth place, IS-2 USSR. The IS-2, or simply Joseph Stalin. The Soviet answer to the Tigers and Panthers, a massive 122 millimeter gun, capable of piercing any German tank or shattering a concrete bunker with a single shot. Armor up to 160 millimeters, it entered the front in 1944. Its arrival changed the game. German tank crews called it the Beast from the East. Its downside? Slow reload, one shot every 25 seconds. But usually, one was enough. Crew of 4. This machine demanded nerves of steel and perfect coordination. The IS-2 pushed through fire, through ruins, through fear. Third place, Panther Aus G, Germany. The Panther. For many, the perfect balance of firepower, armor, and mobility. 75 millimeter KWK 42 long-barreled cannon. One of the deadliest guns of the war. Armor up to 120 millimeters, sloped at rational angles, nearly impervious from the front. Faster than the Tiger, more reliable, cheaper to build. Yet, it had a nemesis, its transmission, overheating, breakdowns, jamming, especially in early models. Still, the Panther left its mark. It became the blueprint for many post-war tanks. Second place, Tiger II, Königstiger, Germany, the King Tiger. The Allies' nightmare, a giant weighing nearly 70 tons, armor up to 180 millimeters. The 88 millimeter KWK-43 cannon, capable of destroying any tank from 2 kilometers away, almost invulnerable from the front, but heavy, slow, unreliable on rough terrain. There are stories of Tiger IIs becoming their own traps, bogged down in mud, breaking suspension, but on open ground, with clear sight lines, it became a machine of death. First place, T-3485, USSR. Not the most heavily armored, not the most powerful gun, but the most influential, the most mass-produced, the most balanced. T-3485 was the evolution of the legendary T-34. Improved armor, up to 75 millimeter sloped, a new turret, and crucially, an 85 millimeter cannon capable of fighting Tigers and Panthers. Top speed, 55 kilometers per hour. Light, agile, cheap to produce. This wasn't a tank for a single battle. This was a tank for the entire war. German diaries note, if you see one T-34, look for the second. If you find the second, the third isn't far, because these tanks always fought together. Conclusion. World War II wasn't won by the biggest or strongest tanks. It was won by the tanks that were there, in the right place, at the right time, in the right numbers. And what about you? Which tank is the symbol of World War II for you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion matters, to us and to thousands who care about history. Before we close this story, let's mention the machines that didn't make it into the top 10 but still left a serious mark on history. Starting with the Japanese Type 97 Chi-Ha, the main tank of the Imperial Japanese Army. Against heavy European tanks, it looked weak, 25 millimeter armor, a modest 57 millimeter gun. But in the jungles of Southeast Asia, it proved effective, its strength, mobility, and simplicity. Next, the French Char B-1 bis, one of the best tanks at the start of the war. Armor up to 60 millimeters, a powerful 75 millimeter howitzer in the hull, and a 47 millimeter turret gun. During the 1940 campaign, a Char B-1 could destroy multiple German tanks alone, but slow, complex, and expensive. Don't forget the British Comet, a late-war cruiser tank, 77mm gun capable of handling Panthers, speed up to 50 kilometers per hour, a good balance of firepower and mobility. Then there's an unusual giant, the German Jagdtiger, the heaviest armored fighting vehicle of World War II, 72 tons, armor up to 250 millimeters, gun 128mm PaK 44. It could destroy any tank at over 3 kilometers, but speed of 14 kilometers per hour, frequent breakdowns, massive fuel consumption, and the Canadian Ram. Little known, but important. Its chassis was the foundation for command vehicles, self-propelled guns, and armored transports for the Canadian Army. Returning to the main tanks of the war, what made a tank truly successful? Not just thick armor, not just firepower. The key was balance, reliability, mass production, ease of maintenance. Because war isn't just duels of machines, it's logistics, repairs, the ability to produce not 10, but 10,000. That's why the T-34 became the symbol of the Eastern Front, why the Sherman carried the burden for the U.S., why the Panther, despite its technological edge, failed at scale. Each of these tanks reflects its nation, its time, its strategy. And today, nearly 80 years later, looking at their silhouettes in museums, in photographs, in rare footage, we understand. This was the era of steel, the era of machines, an era that forever changed the world. So tell us, which tank is the ultimate symbol of World War II for you? Write it in the comments. We truly want to hear your view.